Hey guys, it's Ken. This is Exit Music for a Film, and this is our first annual Oscars recap. So the Oscars just took place tonight, February 9th, 2019, and it was quite a show to say the least. It was a lot different than in previous years and a lot more exciting. So we're going to take you through a few of the just impromptu highlights we have here. So first off, Janelle Monáe opened the show with a musical number. I like that. I like that there was a lot of backup dancers dressed as people from movies such as Us, and I love that Janelle Monáe came out wearing the Midsommar May Queen outfit. So by default, Janelle Monáe for that in particular wins my vote for the best dressed. Moving on from there, we have to, obviously, one of the first and main highlights, Brad Pitt gets his Oscar for one of, if not, his best role, in my opinion. His speech was political, but it was not over the top. It was a solid and smart remark just regarding John Bolton not getting to testify against Trump. It was awesome to see him getting choked up and just him ending the speech with "Once upon a time, ain't that the truth" was the absolute perfect ending. So I'm happy to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood get some love, and I'm happy to see one of my all-time favorite actors finally get awarded for a fantastic role. This one was absolutely deserved for both the film and the actor. Hollywood also won for Best Production Design tonight. It was his second of 2 wins. This was well-deserved as well. On the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Blu-ray featurette, there's a 20-minute or so small featurette that takes you through everything that basically went into the production design, which won this award tonight, in which they transformed present-day Hollywood back as it was and as it looked in 1969. Now, with Quentin Tarantino's influence and insane OCD, as a lot of people know, this certainly went into every aspect of this, and the award was definitely well-deserved. You could tell that Quentin Tarantino and his insanity was very present and made sure everything that needed to go into every minute detail, such as the glasses actually used at El Coyote back in 1969, which I actually heard was... It got that deep, let's just say. I've listened to every interview and video I could find on YouTube regarding this film, and Quentin Tarantino certainly had his hands in the production design, but the ladies did a great job. They had a great speech, and I certainly believe that this Oscar win was absolutely well-deserved. Now, though these 2 awards, were won and taken home, and it's not like Once Upon a Time went home empty-handed, I'm still a little bummed for the movie and for Quentin Tarantino. I was rooting at least for best screenplay. It would give Quentin Tarantino his hat trick of best original screenplays, as he won for Pulp Fiction and Django in the past. Would give him his 3rd win, and I think he made jokes that if he won once more and got the 3rd win, he wanted the award changed, its name changed to the Quentin. I was rooting for that for sure. I was surprised it didn't win for that. I have to say, even more than Best Picture, I was rooting for Quentin to finally win Best Director for film, but it simply didn't happen. He looked bummed for the split second that they showed him, and I was very bummed too. If it goes as Quentin Tarantino says, and he's making 10 movies and stopping, this means he gets one more shot at this, and there's, who knows what this movie's going to be. I guess Quentin, I'm sure, probably already knows what this movie's going to be, but, is it going to come out in 2025? And, it's certainly a long shot that this movie's going to be what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was, his magnum opus, his, most genuine and personal film. So is this just going to be, if he does win for the next film, it could be certainly looked at as just a lifetime achievement award, but it bums me out that he missed this one again. for Best Director and, obviously for Best Film, but it just simply didn't happen. I had full confidence that Quentin was finally going to do it and finally win Best Director. I really did. But all in all, with everything that did happen and the way things shook out, I, for one, cannot complain. Next up, I just wanted to highlight, I guess, since it was two of the big awards, Joaquin and Renee Zellweger both won as they were supposed to for Best Actor and Actress, respectively. Both had some interesting and strange speeches, of course. Seemed like Joaquin's was, his heart was in the right place, but the speech was a little unhinged, to say the least. It went from opening up talking about cow insemination and animal rights to him finally acknowledging and speaking about his late brother, River Phoenix, and I guess what better time to do it than upon winning the Best Actor award for the Oscars. All it was cool to see, one of the best actors of this generation finally be recognized with the Best Actor award. I just wish it was for a better film. Though I did like the Joker, I just wish he was acknowledged for one of his better roles, such as The Master or something like that. Renee Zellweger, I don't know what's going on with her, man. She seems very out there, and it's almost seemed like she was like making up the speech almost as she went along. I didn't see Judy. I don't really have much interest. I heard it was pretty dull, but yeah. You know what wasn't dull for once? It was anything but dull. It was this year's Oscar telecast, and specifically Best Film. Parasite wins the big award tonight, amongst other things. Parasite is the big winner. Parasite and director Bong Joon-ho create history tonight on February 9th, 2020, as Parasite becomes the first ever international film to win Best Picture. It's unbelievable, and I'm absolutely shocked as I sit here and do this podcast right now. The Academy, for once, they did the right thing. Parasite was the most important and impactful film of 2019, hands down. I said a while back, though, as I just said, I was all team Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was all in for Quentin and the film winning the big awards. But as I said to friends a while back, anything that Parasite can take away from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at the awards was totally fine with me. I just did not expect this at all. Parasite also won for Best Original Screenplay, which is, the coolest award of the night and of the show, which I thought, again, was going to be Quentin's. And Bong Joon-ho won for Director, which I thought was going to be Quentin's. It was unbelievable. If Quentin couldn't have it, I certainly wanted Bong to do it. This movie absolutely cleaned up tonight, and I'm shocked. I mean, I haven't been a huge fan of the Oscars, as it's been a pretty boring telecast for years and years, and that's kind of the dip on it, that it's just a very boring and the picks are usually chalk. You usually know who's going to win, who's supposed to win, who's rumored to win usually wins. This was absolutely amazing, and it was very, very entertaining night. So when Bong won Best Director, and that's when the tides kind of turned a little bit, I started to think that to myself, and I said to my fiance that this may be a possibility. That was the turning point there. He had an amazing speech, I have to say, where he praised Scorsese as, a major influence and hero, who in turn got a standing ovation as well, which was really cool to see, and it was a little bit of a bummer to see that The Irishman had to come up empty-handed, but hey, what are you going to do? There's only so many awards to give out. He also praised Quentin Tarantino, who he highlighted has been making great movies for years, which I could only assume, given Parasite, that Quentin Tarantino is somewhat at least someone he looked up to in forming his style, I would say. I like that Bong said that he wished he could use not only a chainsaw, but a Texas chainsaw, so that he could split his his award in five and share it with his contemporaries and fellow nominees. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. He said he was going to drink until the next day, which was the funniest line of the night, I'd say. And it was hilarious, and I hope it's true. I hope he did just that, because he fucking deserved it. He deserved to party his ass off after tonight, along with the cast and everyone involved with Parasite. Seeing the excitement and support that the Hollywood Collective had for Bong, the cast, and the film was fucking awesome. It made my night. It made me really happy. That was the greatest. Like, especially when the lights went down prematurely on Bong and the cast when giving the award speech at the end of the night. You've seen the just the crowd yelling and yelling to let them go on. Especially you've seen Tom Hanks almost jump out of his seat. That was absolutely fantastic to see that type of support for this film, and it with such a surprise win. And the screams when the announcement, I've re-listened to that, and you just hear the crowd going insane. Everyone was so hyped for this movie to get recognized, especially since it was so unexpected. This was an absolutely stunning win. I still cannot get over it. It's unbelievable. Just because I'm so used to seeing, the Green Books of the world win every year. I mean, there've been times where the Academy does the right thing, and there's certainly been great movies in the past that have won Best Picture and well deservingly, but a lot of times it doesn't go right. It does not go right, especially with the fact that this is the first ever international film to win. This is a night that's gonna, this is a history spot here. This is gonna go down tonight. It's the first South Korean film ever even nominated at the Academy Awards. And it did it more than anyone ever expected that this would. Anyone involved, did any more than anyone involved would ever think even possible. I think this was the Academy certainly dealing with its its diversity issue, in that it's often highlighted by many people, the Hollywood Collective, and just the general public, but this was well deserved 100%. And this was no type of guilt trip or anything like that. But I can't help but wonder if this was, in fact, an anomaly, a one and done type thing. Hopefully that's not the case. Tonight said a lot about the future of the awards, the Oscars, the Academy Awards, and film. And it's positive. It's certainly positive. All right, guys. So, next up, I just wanted to, before we get out of here and wrap up our Oscars recap, I just, obviously, this is our first non-film review episode. I just wanted a chance to rant for a moment about Parasite and how exciting of a night this was that's going to, go down in the history of these awards. So I just wanted to take a moment to do that. But I thought, this is our first annual Oscar recap, and before we get out of here, I think there's no better time than now to recap and wrap up, what was the 2019 year in film, since we're moving here into the 2020 movie year, as I have not seen any films yet. So I'm of the opinion, I just have to take a moment and say, 2019 was an absolutely amazing year in film. A lot of people won't agree with me, but I absolutely believe that. I think I picked the perfect year to start this project. When the greatest years in film are discussed, and people bring up years such as 1974, 1982, and of course 1999, which we hear go on about, and so on. Even more years that's not coming to mind right now. But now this certainly may be a case of recency bias here, and don't worry, I'm not going to say it's the greatest year or anything like that. But from top to bottom, when we look at it, and if you go back and just take a look at the films, the full list of films that came out this year, I think 2019 can hang and go toe to toe with any of those other years. This is, in my opinion, was a truly special cinematic year that does not come around very often at all. And I just simply wanted to acknowledge that. Now, to wrap this up, I would like to. Now, to wrap this up, I think I would like to count down the official top 10 exit music for a films of 2019 for our inaugural year. Let's do the official countdown. And here we go. At number 10, Midsommar. This is the darkest breakup movie of all time, and this was a truly unique horror film from Ari Aster. Number 9, Knives Out. An insanely clever whodunit with an all-star cast. I just got to see it on my birthday. It was a latecomer and I loved it. Number 8, Us. A second creative and original take on horror from the mind of Jordan Peele, who again is one of the most exciting up-and-coming filmmakers of recent history, and I'm excited to see what he does next. At number 7, we have Avengers Endgame, the thrilling conclusion to the decade-long Marvel run. The Marvel run that will certainly be noted and has earned a spot in film history, no matter how much Martin Scorsese disagrees and unlikes it. Number 6, Uncut Gems. One of the biggest surprises of the film year for me, for sure. It's a 2-hour non-stop adrenaline run and anxiety attack, and another piece of proof that Sandler is a real actor, in fact. Alright, top 5. Number 5, Joker. The controversy of the film year. A look at mental illness through one of our oldest and most beloved villains, portrayed by one of our greatest actors of this generation. Number 4, Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. The apparent end to not only an era, but a saga. Number 3, Best Picture winner of 2019, Bong Joon-ho's Parasite. The most important and socially impactful film of the year, for sure. The deserving Best Picture winner in my certain gateway into the world of foreign film, an entirely new world to explore. Number 2, The Irishman. A tale of regret and reflection. Martin Scorsese's mob movie, Swan Song, and a very possible final collaboration of one of the greatest directors and actors to ever do it. An absolutely special moment in film history that itself needs to be reflected upon. And it's a huge part of what made 2019 such a great year. And finally, the winner of the first annual Rosebud for Exit Music for a Film's Film of the Year 2019 goes to, of course you guessed it, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This film absolutely blew me away. Everything from the story it told, to the cast, the all-star cast, to the setting of Hollywood 1969. It was everything I wanted and more than I expected out of this film. I truly feel that in years to come, though it's not my favorite Tarantino film, this has a chance to go down and be remembered as his masterpiece, his magnum opus. This film this is his love story to the final days of Hollywood's golden age, the industry that is his life, and the place that he calls home. Now, in closing, all I can say is that this is a truly special film, and for me, an absolutely instant classic. That's 2019. Guys, I just want to take a moment and thank anyone out there who listened to even a moment of this podcast throughout this trial run year of 2019. Thanks for doing it with me. Thanks for all the support. And guys, here's to 2020. Here's to me getting a hell of a lot better at this. And of course, here's to keep going to the movies.